Hey there. Welcome to the Pesky Paul Show. I'm Jerry. I'm your host. But this is really your show as much as it is mine. So feel free to comment, tell me your outrageous things that I've said, and we can go from there. I think I'm going to have a show with just our outrages, and somebody may get outrage of the week. Anyway, let's get started. The Red Sox are off to a dismal start. They're 4-8, and have looked like a lousy baseball team. There's no other way to say it. Uh, they haven't pitched well. They haven't hit well. They haven't fielded well. They haven't run the bases well. What does that add up to? 4-8. They were fortunate they won their last two, and that really was very important to them because you can't win a pennant in April, but you can sure lose one. So they need to turn it around right now. And beating Milwaukee 2 out of 3, that's a good start. Let's take a look at the pitching. Uh, the Red Sox made the playoffs last year because they had Garrett Crochet. On his own ball, he was about 18 games over 500, not just in all his decisions, but in games he started. And that's really what got him into the playoffs. They were a 500 team basically without him. And so far this year, he's pitched very well. He's had 3 starts, one of them not so great, but the other 2 were gems, and he's 2-1. Garrett Crochet would be the least of the Red Sox problems. He's going to win a lot of games for them. As is Sonny Gray, it looks like. Sonny, who's great in the daytime, is 2-0. He's had 3 starts, and all 3 have been very, very good. So they've got a good 1-2 punch with Crochet and Gray. Next, you have Connolly Early. Connolly Early has started a few times and has looked excellent in all of them. He's got his ERA's in the 270s. He doesn't have a decision yet, but he's a guy that his stuff is going to play. He seems to be a little bit bigger than you would think, too. He's 6'3". So the only question I have about Connolly is, will he hold up over 30 starts? I doubt it. We're probably going to have to keep him to 20, 25 starts. Maybe watch his innings in those starts as well. The problem for the Sox has been the 4 and 5 pitchers. And those are guys, well, one, they paid a lot of money to get Ranger Suarez. He had a terrible spring. He was terrible in the WBC, and he's off to an awful start. Now, do I think he can turn it around? Absolutely. He knows how to pitch. But they need him to turn it around. You paid a lot of money for this guy, and they paid him really to be a number 2. Gray's doing that right now, but he needs to be a solid starter for them. And number 2, they need Brian Bayo to look a little bit like he looked last year. Brian Bayo has all the ability. Pedro really thought he was another Pedro. Now, nobody's another Pedro, but that gives you an idea of the kind of stuff the kid has. And he had a good year last year. They need him to turn it around right now. The back of the bullpen is pretty solid. Anytime you've got Chapman back there and Whitlock, they just don't lose when they pitch Whitlock and Chapman in the same game. Slayton is hurt again right now, and that hurts them because usually you could pretty much count on a win if you led going into the 7th, with Slayton in the 7th, Whitlock in the 8th, and Chapman in the 9th. Right now, the 7th is now up for grabs, and whether it's going to be Zach or whether it's Weissert or one of the other guys, I don't know. But before that, that's a real weakness. If teams can get into the Red Sox bullpen, which they've been able to do with Suarez and Bayo not giving you any length, if you can get into the Sox bullpen, probably any team's bullpen, but especially the Sox in the 4th and 5th, you're going to score a lot of runs against them and put the Red Sox behind the 8 ball. Now, Cutter Crawford is starting to rehab and could be coming back, and he's a tough pitcher. He beat the Yankees 3 times a couple of years ago. So Cutter Crawford's a reliable starter. Maybe use him out of the bullpen. I don't know. But that's something to look forward to once they can get him back up and running. So that's the pitching. And as bad as that's been, let's go over to the hitting. And that's been really bad. Roman Anthony's hitting 217. Jaron Duran, I almost called him Roberto Duran. We might as well. Hitting 182. Marcelo Meyer hitting 172. Trevor Story hitting 151. Caleb Durbin hitting 111, and he's had to rally to get to that. Those are just awful batting averages. Now, the weather's been cold. I'll cut them a little bit of slack for that. So hopefully they'll be able to turn that around. Now, you have been getting a great production out of Abreu. He had a great spring. He had a great WBC, and he's carried it right into the regular season for the Sox. So hopefully he can keep doing it. Ceddanne Rafaela, a fantastic center fielder, is hitting over 300. And if they can get anywhere near that, you're awfully happy. And Contreras over at first base has been a breath of fresh air. He brings intensity. He's a good hitter. He's got some pop. So that was a good acquisition. So far, Nevaez hasn't really done much behind the plate. Connor Wong's actually surprised me a little bit. He didn't have a that good a spring, and now he's had a number of timely hits. So, oh, and by the way, their base running's been awful. And I mentioned that their defense, which they really thought they shored up, and I did too. Other than Story, I think almost every other guy is a good fielder. Durbin at third, Meyer at second, Contreras at first. That's a good infield. Nevaez is a very good catcher, and in the left to right in the outfield, well, at least center to right in the outfield, 2 Gold Glove winners. So far, Anthony's been a question out in left field, and his throwing arm, which was rated above average when he was in the minor leagues, has looked awful. He's had 2 just pathetic throws, so we'll have to wait and see whether that's a continuing problem or whether it's an injury that we don't know about or what. So we'll have to go from there. Now, the Sox will be playing St. Louis this weekend. They played them 4 times in the World Series since 1946, each side winning 2. So that's always a good place to go. It's a great baseball city. And well, hopefully the Sox can go there and win 2 out of 3. Now, that's our show for today. Once again, if you like the show, give it a like, give it a subscribe. It helps the algorithm, and it'll help us do even more that we want to do, bring in some graphics and a few other things. I'm tech challenged, so understand that. I'm happy that I'm able to do what I'm doing so far. I've made great strides over the last 4 weeks. So hopefully I'll be able to continue to improve and add some more to the content to the show. And that's sort of it. So once again, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and see us tomorrow because we'll be previewing that St. Louis Cardinals series. Have a good night.